Welcome, one and all, to the closing session for the first ever AppSec New Zealand conference. And as I mentioned before, we've reached the end of the first in-person application security conference in the world since last year's. Since OWASP New Zealand Day in this room last February. Think about that. After our conference, things started canceling. And it just got more interesting after that. And it's great to be back. Really, I just have a few remarks. We'll do a thank you to the sponsors again, a thank you to our team, remind you where the beers are, and we've got a couple of prizes to draw. So this is actually hopefully going to be pretty quick, if the slides choose to work. Some facts and figures, and yes, these are copied from last year with the new year added. So up through the 2020 New Zealand Day, we had our highest registration was 1,127 pre-reg. This year, we had 862 pre-registrations for in-person and another 381 who registered for the live stream. So we hit 1,240 and change total. Actual attendance in person was not that high. We got to about 600. Now I'm hoping that some of those people decided, oh, well, I can watch the live stream, so I will. And they still got to benefit from all the wonderful things that were said in these rooms. We've been evolving the conference format. For the 2020 New Zealand Day, we did 3 streams that produced some serious logistical headaches, but it did show that we had enough good talks to do more streams. So we tried the 2-stream, 2-day format this year. One of the interesting observations was that Saturday's attendance wasn't very high. So is it just because it's Saturday? Is it because we're so used to having short weeks that we didn't want to lose a day of the weekend? So right now, and this is the committee of one speaking, we haven't really talked this through, the 2-day format seems to be a winner. And then, of course, we need to find out what the university has to say about available dates. But I'm thinking maybe not Friday and Saturday? So a little background on that. Our original dates were starting tomorrow. So Sunday and Monday for training, Tuesday and Wednesday for the conference. And we got bumped. And these were the available dates. So here we are. Hopefully next year we'll be able to go a little bit later in February, get away from the holiday weeks, and have the conference be during the week. A little bit on the training format. You can see that things have moved around. The first time they had training, which was the 3rd conference, it was classes held on the same day, so you could attend the training or the conference. Then we've moved to having classes on the day before. Then last year we had 5 classes the 2 days before. And this year we had 7 classes, again 2 days, where 4 of the classes were online. Did anyone here enroll in the online classes? Just a few? Just a few, they'll come in the mail. So we did have a total of 72 people attending training, and unfortunately not many of them are in the room. But it has been really good, and we'll continue to strive to have some good training ahead of the conference next year. And it's time to recognize the sponsors again, so I'm going to go through all of them and then ask for a big round of applause at the end. So our conference hosts, the Business School and the OWASP New Zealand chapter. Thank you, Kirk. Our platinum sponsors, Datacom and Quantum Security. Our gold sponsors, Attack, Aura Information Security, Insomnia Security Specialists, MYOB, I still want to call it MyOB, MYOB, Pulse Security, Secure Code Warrior, Vocus, and ZX Security. And our silver sponsors, Flux Federation, Internet NZ, Lateral Security, Security Initiative, and Secure Information Security. And then special mention to Insomnia for also sponsoring our tea breaks during the training days. You missed out on some really good snacks if you weren't here on Wednesday and Thursday. So let's have a really raucous round of applause for all of our sponsors. Thank you, and I'll be contacting you really soon to sponsor next year's conference. And next, I would like to thank all of our conference volunteers. So if you would, I would like for all of the blue shirts to stand up. Not just because you're wearing one. Special recognition to those who stuck around and were here all day, all 4 days. Oh. And some of the core committee, I added myself to this list. Annika, our professional, completely on the ball. I didn't worry about anything because she totally had it, volunteer coordinator. Austin and Jatinder, who got on calls with me to talk through which talks would be accepted and who to put where. Kirk for coordinating all of our session chairs, and now getting rid of the last of our water, thank you. Lek has been here year on year, our resident first aider with thankfully very little to do. That's always helpful. And of course he serves as our faculty host for the event. Will came on this year and took on the role with sponsor liaison, and he also ended up running our kind of ad hoc merch table. So thank you for that, Will. Paul, who stepped up and helped keep track of registrations and try to clean things up, only to have me mess them up. Sorry, I really did. So many of you had badges. We're just not sure where they went. So it was interesting. Ramandeep, who joined us this year and served as the host and coordinator for our pre-conference reception. And that's a little hint here. If you submit a paper and it gets accepted, then not only do you get to come here and have fun, we buy you drinks the night before. So, however much incentive that is. And Ben, who joined us this year as our quartermaster, and we were actually able to say, where is this? And Ben would say, it is in bin number 4 in this room. And it would be. That was... Until you experience that, you don't know how important it is. So thank you to the core committee. Thank you so much. Without you, this would not happen. I'd basically just have a room and a bill to pay. So thank you, all of you. Okay, so fancy a drink? We have a space reserved over at the Brewers Cooperative. If you were there last night and things were very confused and we were at 4 or 5 different tables, Daniel said that won't happen tonight. We'll see. If you head over right after closing, let them know that you're with the AppSec conference. They have promised us that you can get 10% off jugs if you show your badge. We'll see if that actually works. And then some of the blue shirts will join you once we finish cleaning up here. So we'll be along as soon as we can. Now it's time to talk about prizes. So this year, we didn't really emphasize prizes. If you were here last year, you remember that we spent about, what, 40, 45 minutes drawing names? And Kirk is texting me going, what are you doing? What are you doing? Cut it off. But we have more to give away. So this year we really didn't emphasize it, and we actually have just a couple of prizes to talk about. The first one, Secure Information Security gave away an Intel NUC, a mini PC kit. They drew the winner earlier, and then the person who knew the name of the winner left, and then I went to the booth to ask who the winner was, and the people still there didn't know. So if you won, you'll be contacted by folks from Secure. But they swear they're giving the prize away. Secure Code Warrior held a secure coding tournament this year. They had 28 participants over the 2 days. And the first prize is which will be posted to you by Secure Code Warrior. So well, in the case of the AWS vouchers, I think they can be done online. But they'll actually be posting the Raspberry Pi kit to the first prize winner. And I would love to welcome Ollie, who knows who the winners are.
I get a microphone and everything. I just sort of volunteered to do this. I was talking to John at CheckOn, and then next thing I know, I'm running the tournament. So this is the only reason I'm here. So in third place, Daddy Pig. Some of the people from Secure Code Warrior looked at the names and the email addresses and were like, we're not sure these are real. Can you check that these people actually exist? As long as it's the email address that you put in the system, then we're all good. I looked at them and I'm like, nah, this just looks like, you know, regular people that turn up to conferences like this, right? In second place, Mem in Ops. In like.
You went home. You had a headache.
But he exists, so. And
if you could, just remind us what his actual name is. Oh, Bonberry. Okay, thank you.
Cool. And in first place, Chris with a C. Pritchard.
He's in Wellington.
As long as he exists, that's what matters, right? So I do have certificates for the first, second, and third prize winners. So if you want to collect them from me, or if you know them and can pass them on, that'd be great.
All right.
Thanks, John.
Thank you. Those are words I should have spoken out loud at first. To enter the Secure Code Warrior tournament, the only requirement was that you have registered for the conference. You did not have to be an in-person attendee. So it's really nice to hear that someone who was attending remotely did well in the tournament. And finally, our conference draws. For these, you must still be here.
Is this the one that takes 45 minutes?
I'm sure I could manage to make it last 45 minutes if you really want. But this year, we have one prize and a couple of consolation draws. So hopefully it will take less than 45 minutes to find a winner. And the prize, which was donated by Quantum Security, is a Mavic Mini drone, the everyday fly cam. And it's time to unseal the box. Now, I'll go ahead and ask, is there anyone in the room who has a completed card that's not in here? Excellent. Draw, up and down and draw. Oh, you want to draw?
No, I'm preparing. I'm optimistic that it's not going to be 40 minutes before I have to hand this out.
All right. Come on down.
Oh,
You can have that.
thank you.
Nathan D'Souza. Oh, first go.
Well done.
Come get a photo.
And because Quantum gave away the prize, I get to again thank the committee, thank everybody for putting on an absolutely awesome couple of days. As one of the sponsors, I also want to thank the other sponsors. I know it's not a one company deal. Quantum has got a lot out of it. We've met some tremendous people. The 2-day format has allowed more networking time, so we've got to spend time to get to know people. We also ran speed interviews yesterday afternoon and this morning, and got a chance to speak to some really good, talented people, some up-and-comers that we're going to keep a close eye on. So, thank you.
Now, I do want to comment a little bit about that third room, the demo breakout room. When I decided to throw that into the schedule and make it available to sponsors, I was really thinking more about the tool vendors. So if you remember last year, we had Checkmarks was here, and F5, and of course, Secure Code Warrior. And I was thinking, one of the things we wanted to make sure was that we don't end up having tool sales talks sneaking in the tracks. So I thought, okay, let's go ahead and have a vendor space where they can go ahead and do their demos and talk about how wonderful their product is. And then, of course, all of the tool vendors who are based in, say, Australia aren't here. So then I decided, well, let's make it so that it's pretty much any breakout that we want to do. But of course, one of the things I found with this conference is every time you do something the first time, everyone is like, what are you doing? I don't get it. What's that for? So now that this year we've used it, and a couple of the sponsors have come in and found it to be beneficial, and thank you, Mike, for talking about that, then probably next year we'll see that more of the sponsors will want to do things, and more special interest groups like Women in Tech will be interested in using the space. So next year, I expect we'll see a lot more entries in that third column. Okay, the last thing I want to do is we'll go ahead and give away a couple of consolation prizes for those of you who waited for 2 days to find out you didn't win the drone. We have these lovely sets of OWASP 2020 New Zealand Day coasters that have been in storage since last February. So I'm just going to draw the first 2 names that are here. You can take 2 sets home each. Ah, Michel Lamas. There he is. That's the applause because we're almost done. Congratulations. And it looks like Gina Holden. Oh! 3 shots, 3 hits. Hey, look, John's out of slides.
Can we get a big shout out for John?
Yeah, the final thank you, the largest one for John, who is the heart and soul of this conference.
So the next thing that you can join John at, the Auckland meetup will be Tuesday, March 9th. And I haven't reminded Jennifer about it yet, but I'm pretty sure we'll be at Grid AKL. So if you're not familiar with that venue, it is 101 Pakenham Street West in the Wynyard Quarter. And we'll be there from 6 o'clock on Tuesday the 9th, and it's going to be a security game night, including that we'll have some backdoors and breaches decks to give away. So that's our next AppSec event. If you're in Christchurch, the next Christchurch meetup is on the 31st of March, which Kim is organizing. I think he's already set off. So if you're in Christchurch, please do join him there. A couple of other, Wellington's going to be on the 15th of March because Kirk promises. Okay. So you'll be seeing these updates. The Christchurch is already on that meetup group. I believe I need to add the 9th March one to the Auckland group, and Kirk's doing the Wellington one now, right? Now, just a couple of other things. So OWASP New Zealand is a host of this conference. And one of the things that you can do to help support OWASP and its projects in general is join OWASP. Now, usually, I haven't been promoting this very much because there wasn't a whole lot that somebody in New Zealand would get out of the membership. You get a discount to attend the in-person conferences in the US. But now that there's a new executive director, Andrew Vanderstock, and he's a former project leader. He's been on OS committees. He was a board member. He gets it. And one of his key objectives this year is to just keep adding things to the members' learning platform. So right now, there's one thing there. You can, as a member, you can go to OWASP's Secure Flag instance, and you have unlimited access to the Secure Flag platform. And you can join OWASP for $50 US a year, or if you want to be a life member, it's $500 US one time. So now that I can start talking about things that you can use even here, far away from the in-person conferences, I'm really going to keep saying, you should join OWASP. There's a lot to gain from it. And then, of course, as I mentioned, there might actually be a conference just across the ditch soon. So please do that. We hope to see you at the meetups between now and then. And I guess it'll be probably Christchurch Con next. Anything else? Anybody have other events that they want to tell the group about? No, okay. No, not the LARP. Yes, so that's the last thing we need to tidy up. Please, before you head out, just check to see if there is any litter left among the seats, and just take it out to a rubbish bin with you. It will save us a lot of heartache. And otherwise, I hope to see you over at the Brewers Co-op. Have a great year.